The big Don, the big man, has been arrested. Italy's most wanted mafia boss, Matteo Messina Denaro, arrested, police say. Matteo Messina Denaro is alleged to be a boss of Sicily's Cosa Nostra mafia and has been on the run since 1993 after being sentenced in absentia to a life term for his role in the murders of anti-mafia prosecutors. He also faces another life sentence for a string of bomb attacks. And there he is there, and he's going to probably do the Mafia thing where he turns up to court with a little oxygen thing in his nose and in the wheelchair. Thinking, I don't think that's ever saved any of them. I don't know why they still do that. Italy's most wanted mafia boss, Matteo Messina Denaro, whatever, has been arrested by police after 30 years on the run. Messina Denaro is alleged to be a boss of Sicily's Cosa Nostra mafia and has been on the run since 1993. The 60-year-old was detained at a private hospital in the Sicilian capital, Palermo. He had been having appointments at the hospital for some time, Italy's ANSA news agency reported, adding police had secretly moved officers into the building overnight to guard the safety of other patients. Italian news agencies said he is believed to be suffering from cancer. Messina Denaro appeared before a court in Palermo and was taken to a secret location immediately after the arrest, Italian state TV reported. Fucking hell, those officers have their faces uncovered. That, brave. Italy's Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, who I would love to get my head around those big Melonis, let me fucking tell you, thanked authorities for the arrest and deemed the operation a great victory for the state that shows it never gives up in the face of the mafia. Messina Denaro was sentenced in absentia to a life term for his role in the 1992 murders of anti-mafia prosecutors Giovanni Falcone and Paolo Borsellino. He also faces a life sentence for his role in bomb attacks in Florence, Rome, and Milan, which killed 10 people the following year. There's pictures of him there. Last year, police said he was still able to issue commands concerning the way the mafia was run in the area around the western Sicilian city of Trapani, his regional stronghold, despite being on the run. Messina Denaro is also accused of being solely or jointly responsible for numerous murders in the 1990s. In 1993, he helped organise the kidnapping of a 12-year-old boy, Giuseppe Di Matteo, in an attempt to dissuade his father from giving evidence against the mafia, prosecutors say. The boy was held in captivity for 2 years before he was strangled and his body dissolved in acid. Hey, Tony, that's kind of fucked up, hey. I say, it's just a boy, Tony. God damn, why did you have to Roger Rabbit him, Tony? Hey, cocksucker. Hey, dip him in the gabagool. I'm sorry. That's a 12-year-old boy getting murdered. That's not funny. Fuck's sake. Messina Denaro was the last of 3 fugitive top-level mafia bosses who had eluded capture for decades. However, he was never the sole leader of the Sicilian mafia, the chief prosecutor of Palermo, Maurizio De Lucia, told the press conference on Monday. Prosecutors also told reporters that Denaro had hidden out in many parts of Italy over the past 3 decades, most recently in Sicily, and that he was wearing a watch worth €35,000 when officers detained him. De Lucia told reporters that the fugitive had used the pseudonym Andrea Bonafede and had an Italian identity card in that name, which roughly translates to good faith in English. Denaro appeared before a court shortly after his arrest, where a judge sought to confirm his identity and ask basic questions to fill out documents. He gave his occupation as farmer and told the court he had 6 children. Investigators believe at least one of them was born while he was a fugitive, according to an audio tape of the hearing transmitted by state TV. Denaro's arrest comes 30 years and a day after the capture of convicted boss of bosses, Salvatore Toto Rina, who spent 23 years on the run. It is an extraordinary event of historic significance, said Giancarlo Caselli, who was a prosecutor in Palermo at the time of Rina's arrest. He said that the fact the arrest coincided with the anniversary of Rina's detention made it even more significant. However, he warned Cosa Nostra had shown its ability to survive the arrest of senior figures and regroup in the past. The record for the longest time on the run is held by Bernardo Provenzano, who was captured in a farmhouse near Corleone, Sicily in 2006 after 38 years as a fugitive. Once Provenzano was arrested, the hunt focused on Messina Denaro, but despite numerous reported sightings over the years, he managed to elude arrest until today. All three top bosses were ultimately arrested in the heart of Sicily, with the authorities saying that they rely on the contacts and confidentiality of fellow mobsters and complicit family members to move from hideout to hideout while being supplied with basic needs such as food and clean clothing, and evading capture under a code of silence known as omerta. Yeah, well, that omerta can sometimes quickly go away when you dangle multiple life sentences over a guy's head. I think it's quite funny how in some cases, like the hitmen who have killed like upwards of like 40, 50 people end up only doing like 11, 12 years after they rat on their boss. There's a guy, I forget his name, but he's out of prison now and he does interviews on YouTube and stuff like that, but he killed like 50 people for the mob. He killed like 50 people for the fucking Mafia, but because he turned rat, he just got out after like 12 years in prison. Because, I mean, the feds were like, well, you have to do some prison time. It was like 50 people. But 12 years, that was it. He's out doing interviews on YouTube now and getting paid for it. Fucking mental. But yeah, I think the Mafia is sort of going the way of the Yakuza. The Yakuza is dying out hard. The Yakuza is dying out hard. That's a whole other story. But the Mafia, they're still around. They still exist. But see how advanced surveillance is now. I don't see them lasting the next 100 years.